Well, hello, this is Jeff Gaudiosi, and you're on MisplacedStraws.com, where music comes to life. And it's that time of year again to take a look back at the best albums of 2023. And I have to say, my first thought when I started putting this list together was that it was a down year. So I put down the first 20 records that came to mind, and then I realized everything I missed. It was really a stronger year than I thought. So to go over the criteria for this list, there's no greatest hits, there's no live records, no re-releases, only new material. So that's why you won't see the amazing Who's Next box set or even the great best of from ZO2. So we'll start off with some honorable mentions that were originally on the list but didn't quite make the final cut. Records by Dirty Honey, LA Guns, Cross Country Driver featuring Rob Lamoth of River Dogs were all fantastic. But let's talk about the two elephants in the room, the Rolling Stones, Hackney Diamonds, and Metallica's 72 Seasons. The Stones record, it's probably their best since Steel Wheels, and it's really good to have them back. But it's not up to par with their classic work. The Metallica record, to me, it's just okay. I think that band is at their best when they're reinventing themselves. You know, that jump between Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets, between Master of Puppets and Injustice for All, and then the Black Album, just reinventing, evolving. This isn't that. It pretty much sounds exactly like the last one, sort of like, the reload to Hardwire's load, if you will. But anyway, there you go. On to the top 20. Coming in at 20 is a band you probably never heard of called the Cold Stares and their record Voices. It's just a great blues rock record with really amazing writing behind it. This is really a band to keep your eye on. They just keep progressing, getting better with every record. My pick for the song to check out is called Sorry I Was Late. It's just one of the most powerful songs you're going to hear all year long. Coming in at 19 is The Church with Hypnagogue. I love this Australian band back in the 80s. I gotta say, I did get away from them for quite some time, but there was a big push when this record was coming out, and with good reason. The band's gone through a number of lineup changes, but they haven't sounded this good in decades. The concept behind the record, the story is a bit confusing, but the songs that accompany it and that American tour were just fantastic. My pick for song is the title track, The Hypnagogue, and it shows that Steve Kilbey still has one of the most unique voices in rock. Coming in at 18, The Hold Steady, Price of Progress. The Articulate Man's Rock Band. I love The Hold Steady. On this record, all these songs build to this amazing swell with Craig Finn's just biting lyrics and steady cadence cutting through that swell. For the song, check out Distortions of Fate. Franz Nicolai on keys and Tad Kubler on guitar just create this amazing canvas for Finn, whose lyrics are like nobody else's. Coming in at 17, Duff McKagan and Lighthouse. This is easily the best solo work the Guns N' Roses bassist has put out ever. Lyrically, songs are amazing, and even though it's far from the sound of Guns N' Roses, that attitude that Duff has is behind all of it. I was a little disappointed with his last record, but this one builds on it. It takes all the good stuff from that record and just adds better songs to it, and it really makes a standout release. My favorite track is called I Saw God on 10th Street. And if you're familiar with Willie Nile, the song reminds you of that New York rock that Willie has, and it's good to hear Duff do that. Coming in at 16, our first prog entry of the countdown, it's Pattern Seeking Animals with spooky action at a distance. With Spock's beard being quiet, PSA has really taken the mantle for accessible, fun prog rock. John Begho's lyrics are just stunning. You'll find yourself just sitting and listening to his stories in each song. This band gets stronger with every release. Check out the epic track He Once Was. It's everything you love about a prog epic, but it's also listener friendly and will even draw in the non prog fan, which is a hard thing to do. At 15, we have Vega and Battle Lines. And I've been into this band for a lot of years now. Nick Workman, just one of the top frontmen in rock, and they just keep putting out consistently great, hard, melodic rock records. Battle Lines, it's the perfect record to put out. You just need a dose of rock and roll. Check out 33s and 45s, Vega's Ode to the Magic of Vinyl. Coming in at 14, for me, sort of a sister record to that, Eclipse with Megalomanium. And I always tend to think of Eclipse and Vega as similar bands. Because much like Vega, Eclipse has a great frontman with Eric Martinson, who's also one of the great songwriters in the genre. And Megalomanium sees this band evolve with some more complex arrangements and songs. For my pick of the song, check out The Hardest Part Is Losing You. The last year, the band did some touring with My Chemical Romance, and you can hear in this song how that rubbed off on Martinson. He puts the Eclipse spin on it. Coming in at 13 is Margot Price and Strays. I love Margot Price. I've had the pleasure of covering her live twice. She's just the best there is. And this ranking takes in kind of all of her releases this year. There was Strays Volume 1 back in January. Volume 2 came out at the end of the summer. And this past Record Store Day, there was a live release of Strays. Check out the track Radio from Volume 1. And I picked that song because for all of the really important and hard edge stuff that she writes and sings about, I think radio shows that she still has this sexy, fun side to her music that she makes sure gets incorporated in with all of those messages and really makes the message she's trying to get across that much stronger. Coming in at 12, Kenny Wayne Shepherd and Dirt on My Diamonds, Volume 1. Kenny, he's just one of my all-time favorite performers. I will go see him live anywhere, anytime. There's nobody better. And this is another really great release from him. The only reason this release isn't in the top 10, though, is there's only like 3 or 4 songs that feature the great Noah Hunt on vocals. Now, Kenny's a really strong singer. He's gotten better throughout the course of his career, but Noah is one of the great blues voices of all time. And I just really miss hearing him with Kenny's guitar. Check out the track, The Best of Times. It's a rock and blues song that even now in the dead of winter makes you want to roll down the windows and just blast the radio. And rounding out part 1, coming in at number 11, is Extreme with Rise. And I will say, I've never been the biggest Extreme fan. I respect Gary's voice, and he's a great guy. And Nuno is just a guitar god. But their songs never really clicked with me until 6. This record, it grabs you. It is the best, most consistent collection of songs this band has ever put out. My pick, and I hate to go with the singles, but you have to go with Rise. Just because with Nuno, it is one of the great guitar solos ever recorded. So there you go with part 1. Counting down again at 20 is The Cold Stairs with Voices. 19 sees The Church with Hypnagogue. At 18, The Hold Steady Price of Progress. 17, Guns N' Roses bassist Duff McKagan with Lighthouse. 16, Pattern Seeking Animals with Spooky Action at a Distance. At 15 is Vega's Battle Lines, followed at 14 by Eclipse's Megalomanium. At 13 is Margot Price with Strays. 12 sees Kenny Wayne Shepherd with Dirt on My Diamonds Volume 1. And coming in at 11 is Extreme with 6. So there you go. Coming up next week, we'll have the Misplaced Straws Top 10, and I'd love to hear from you. What were your favorite records this year? What were the ones that didn't work for you? We want to hear those too. So let me know, and we'll talk soon.